Help me! Help me!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Meets in Midgard. I am Mac. John is to my right, and Barbara is here at the end. Barbara, say hello. I have to show off. I meant to wear this shirt last night because we had a game, but I totally forgot. And anyway, I have to look at that. Look at that. Love it. Love it. Anyway, so I get to debut it here with you guys today. Kindred After Dark. Like,
Spooky
what's
shit.
that about? What's
Well,
that
don't
about?
jump ahead.
That's today's topic. The Kindred Yggbladir is coming up on 1 year. And we want to just kind of recap on that. And then just kind of move from there. So stick with us. We'll talk about Kindred community and other things that go beyond.
On the west coast of Skrelly's land, in the city of the trees, a heathen man heard the call of gods whispering in the breeze. He reached out to a selected few, those who knew the lore, to those who could see beyond the veil and saw the world tree's core. As the old gods arise anew, foes are many, friends are few. Gather round and join together. Let us learn from one another. Meets in Midgard, what do they have to say? Meets in Midgard, where you're gathering today. Meets in Midgard, hear the wisdom of the Lord. Meets in Midgard, promise you it'll be no bore. We speak of modern applications to the ancient ways of how to apply the High One's words in this present day. Not only Odin's wisdom, but Loki's cunning wit, and how no matter who you are no misfit. So whether you are near, or whether you are far, whether you are just beginning, or have been on this path and winning, you are welcome to join us here, and you don't need to fear. Even comb his hair. As the old gods arise anew, foes are many, friends are few. Gather round and join together. Let us learn from one another. Meets in Midgard, what do they have to say? Meets in Midgard, we are gathering today. Meets in Midgard, hear the wisdom of the Lord. Meets in Midgard, promise you it'll be no bore.
Hello and welcome back. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us. This is Meets in Midgard After Dark.
But
Well
it's light
done.
outside.
Yeah.
I'm dark inside.
where it
Black.
counts.
No,
Yeah,
you're not. You're a squishy teddy bear.
with a dark black heart of evil.
Mhm.
Sure. Well, yes. And then,
So, since we don't have a crap ton of events, do we want to kind of go over like calendar things for now?
Yeah. So for you guys joining us, not only do we do the Meets in Midgard podcast where we get to branch out, but the three of us also help direct and to run the Yggbladir Kindred in Sacramento for the Northern California area that's open to anybody. We are an inclusive group, but absolutely there is zero tolerance for racism.
We should.
Yeah, any phobia things against anybody. So our job as the leaders of the group is to protect the kindred, and so we are very, very passionate about that. So, but inclusive, yes, come be yourself. Just don't be a dick.
Right. Number one rule.
Yeah,
Don't
harm
be a
no
dick.
one.
So
else.
our next class, they're always held at Mystical Celtic. We love them.
Mm.
They're just so great for the community.
Yes.
Our next class is August 29th. We are doing it from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We are asking people to join us for a potluck, not only in learning about the Wheel of the Year, both pagan calendar, but also the Norse heathen calendar, and celebrate our 1 year together, which is actually August 30th. That is originally August 30th, 2025 was our very first class that we held.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's amazing. Love it.
yeah,
There might be cupcakes. I'm just saying.
maybe.
There might be
Maybe, baby.
1 year. Oh my gosh.
Yep. So, and then as we move into September, our next podcast is September 19th. Time is to be determined, just depending on scheduling. And then the 26th of September is Nine Worlds Explained.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of like as we get towards December, we'll be taking a break from the classes because we will be doing a 2-day event at the Krampus Festival this year.
Yes, again, Mystical
Mhm.
Celtic.
Yeah. So, and if you guys haven't checked out Mystical Celtic, I suggest you should. They are doing phenomenal things between Lori getting her own shelf and
Oh yeah.
just some of the amazing shit that she makes.
Oh yeah.
She's also going to be hosting a plaster class. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I didn't.
Where
see
like
that.
for a small plaster piece, it's like $20, and that includes the paint, the space to paint, everything.
Wow.
So check on her Mystical Celtic's website under events, and you can see like everything that they're doing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Mystical Celtic Heart in Elk Grove. So make sure you guys check them out. As well, we'll put a link in the comments to their Facebook group as well. So,
and that's pretty much it for things coming up.
Yeah. I know December is going to be busy for us, so we're going to be laying low on some events that month, but because we are going to be doing the Krampus Festival, and that's for those of you who don't know, a lot of the money that comes out of running the Kindred is coming out of our own pockets. And so we try to do these festivals and stuff to make sure that we are able to support the Kindred and the community in that aspect.
Which we'll dig deeper into when we get to the interview questions, Mac.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not jumping ahead already. I know, yeah. So like, but
Are you high?
I know he hasn't said it.
I know.
I almost thought he was sober.
Am I? How dare you, ma'am?
How dare you make those accusations against me?
If I had pearls, I'd be clutching them.
So as we talk about the year anniversary, right?
Mm-hmm.
What inspired each of you? Because you started Yggbladir, right?
Mm.
And then you kind of asked us to hop on board. So what initially inspired you to start Yggbladir, and what do you both need, or what need do you think that we're fulfilling within the community?
Mm-hmm. I'd like to say I am the old man of the group. I'm the old man. I think I was at a
Not quite senior.
What's
discount
funny
level,
is we're
but
here
close.
from oldest to youngest. I would just like to point that out.
And I was in other kindreds before, and something wasn't aligning or whatever. And I realized too that now that I'm more mature, that I had issues as well, and it's been more than one kindred, and it just wasn't aligning. So finally, I felt like, you know what, I'm in a good spot right now. Personally, I think. And there's a need, and I really want this. So I wanted to start it. So I started it just by posting on Facebook and creating a Facebook thing. But I wasn't really gaining any traction or anything because, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like who wants to hang out with me? You know.
Which, when you're starting something new, right? It's like
Mhm.
conversation that John and his coworker were having today. Is when you start something new, you're not going to be a fucking pro at it just
Mhm.
because you're like, I'm going to do this thing, right? Like,
That's a lesson learned for anyone wanting to, that is thinking about starting it or anything. A lesson learned. It's not going to be right the first time. You know, there's going to be mistakes and there whatever. But I didn't think that way at the time. I was going in saying I have this end vision of what it's going to look like, and that didn't
and you're just
materialize
gonna like
right
wave
away.
your
You
bippity
know?
boppity boo wand and just
Yeah.
poof, it's gonna happen.
And I know we'll get to more questions later on, but like I was woefully unprepared for starting one. So,
But what
um,
was your hope by creating it?
oh my gosh, community to like have, uh, I think, especially nowadays, there is a fear of not being anything other than an Abrahamic faith and believing in that and being outed or being, you know, whatever. And I wanted to have a space where people that didn't fit into that and had alternate beliefs could get together and share their experience and their knowledge, because I personally only practice Norse heathenry, and that's really why I started the Kindred strictly for Norse heathen, and it's evolved a lot because, you know, when the three of us started working together. Yeah.
I corrupted it. That's right.
Yeah.
It's
You know.
okay. I'm used to it. I am a corrupter.
He is the grand corrupter. Yeah. And I have learned so much. And not only am I learning about other things, but it just teaches me things about myself from a new aspect, you know. So I'm really glad that we opened up and we did that. And I'm all the better for it. But I wanted a space for people that wanted to have a place to belong. So that was the big part. Have a safe place.
What is your hope with the Kindred?
Galactic domination.
Close.
Yeah, close.
We're almost there.
In seriousness, it is my hope was to have a build community. So not only like community to me isn't necessarily like, okay, we meet every 6 weeks and we do a little ritual and then I don't see you for another 6 weeks, but it's building a community of people that, you know, you help each other, you become a family, you're there watching each other's kids and celebrating the triumphs and helping each other through the hard times that life throws at us, because
Mhm.
you know, life's kind of shitty at times. But building a community with people that share the same beliefs and the same values
Same ethics.
and same ethics,
Yeah.
and doing that, you know, it's like, because people talk about like community, but what is community to a person is very different from person to person, and finding people that have that same ideal.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys look back to our very first meet, August 30th, 2025, what stands out the most to you guys now? And is there anything that makes you smile or laugh about when we first started? Because as Max said, like, there was no fucking plan, right?
We're just making it up as it goes on.
So I actually, and Barbara, this is where you shine. I did not realize how much administrative work goes into doing these things.
Mhm.
And I'm not like a very administrative person, um, you know, and so you're like a machine. But when these things come up, we'll have a meeting, blah, blah, blah. And then like, okay, the meeting's done. Yeah, okay, we're done. 5 seconds later, our notes are being airdropped to us on our phones, you know, like this whole thing. I did not know how much went into that. And so when we started talking about it,
She makes it look like just it's tying my shoes here.
I know,
And here's
yeah.
this fucking 30-page thing of like notes and bullet points of what we talked about. And here's them like
she'll go silent for 10 seconds, and all of a sudden this
And,
project appears on our phone.
and like I look at like her notes, which are like pages and just like very in detail. And like mine's like, make sure to do the thing. Smiley face.
I have like one line that captures an emotion that I felt, and that's my note. And Barbara's like,
Soon your guys' note's gonna be, wait for Barbara.
it'll
It'll be done in 5 seconds.
I'm gonna be like, I'm not even gonna write anything anymore.
I give up trying to write notes because her notes will be 5 times better and more informative, because I'll write a note and then like I'll look at it next day and like, what? I don't how what
But see,
it's,
that's
it's
the
3
thing.
words and they don't even make a sentence.
But it still makes sense because I can look at your guys' notes and I know exactly where the fuck you guys were going with it.
Well, because when we're having conversations, it's like she's mentally recording everything on top of writing things down, so she can look. Like she would look at my notes and she'd be like, I know exactly where we were in that conversation. I know what we're talking about. I know what he means.
He wanted
like,
a snack. That's why he said taco.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it like, I don't know what we were talking about, but I know how I felt. So that was a surprise for me. And then when we first met back up and we started talking about the Kindred, Barbara's eyes lit up. I mean, and I could see wheels and machinery just spinning in her head already. Like we had just known each other for probably half an hour or something, I think, and into the conversation. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden she's like constructing these, like she's this architect in her thing and just like putting it out. And I was like, she's spitting out these ideas, and I'm thinking, I didn't even know this was possible, like
what kind of dark sorcery are you doing?
Yeah,
it's that pagan witchcraft that you weren't used to as a heathen.
I know. Yeah, I didn't have the exposure to it. I didn't seek out the exposure either. But and you guys, were already involved in the pagan community to a degree anyway, and you knew you had connections, mystical Celtic heart. I didn't have resources and stuff, and so I was, the idea maybe might have sparked in my home, but it was a shared idea, and I think the 3 of us a lot, because you guys pulled in and came so much that it happened. It came true.
So we all brought kindling to build the Kindred.
We.
Well, and I think I think it extends past the 3 of us too, right? Like our children have given great ideas. Your husband has given great ideas. Mm-hmm. He has literally been the fucking muscle of like helping us load shit.
I know, yeah. And that's another thing. Like he may not attend everything or whatever, but he still is a part of it because he helps. We
know that he's a green witch. He just hasn't accepted it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I know he's listening from the other room.
I'm gonna make a hat for him that says "Badass Green Witch."
Yes. Make sure there's bears and mushrooms. And
yes. But and that is us pulling together and being community. And you don't have to attend every event or anything at all, but you put in, and we hopefully are giving back to you in some way.
Yeah.
So
going off of that, in our first year, right? Like those were the first like fears of like not having anything, first aha moments. Mm-hmm. What's been your guys's, each of you, and we'll start with John, what's been your proudest moment?
Let me think on that one. But first, about the previous question, one of the things like learning, like laughing is we spent way too much time doing table and chair setup and pop-ups and all that stuff. It's like, you know what? No, we're just doing chairs in a circle and a shade
spot.
It
worked so much better too, because it was more of like a collaboration, not a standing up there and teaching.
Yeah,
right. Like
it changed the vibe.
Well, I think for like the aha moment was kind of that is like this actually fits better and it's more personable instead of doing here's your table and your chairs and we're sitting over here. It's more of a conversation like that, and realizing like, because I've been practicing heathenry and paganism for over 20 years, but I still consider myself like, I don't know anything, but apparently I do know a thing or two.
Yeah. I think we undersell ourselves quite a bit.
Thank you, trauma.
Yeah. I know. Thanks for trauma. But I think that's important to, because that really captures, I think, something that aligns with what we're trying to create. We had a format, and it was like, okay, it was good, it served its purpose, but it didn't like align with what our community, the feeling of it, and so we changed it.
And ironically too, like when we actually think about people that show up for our classes, 90% of them are ADHD, right?
Yeah.
Or like, so doing the circle, it's more inclusive, right? Like it gives the freedom to sit, stand, wiggle, like whatever the hell you need to do, as long as you're comfortable and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked one of my favorite moments though was when we had to do the animism class on the fly, and it was one of the best classes. Man, the
conversation was fucking epic.
It was so good. I did always consider myself an animist, but this really gave me some more depth to it, and it changed the way I practiced some of my personal
and
things.
It was great too, because Annabelle even helped out with the booklet and did research, and it was, we're starting to bring in the next generation. So
that was, to me, that was one of the most profound moments, because it wasn't just the three of us. We had other people in there throwing in their knowledge, and it inspired me to do a box dedicated to rot outside. So yeah, like it had an impact on me. I thought that was great. So,
what's your proudest moment? Have you thought about it?
About that,
okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Barbara?
I think for us, we've been able to stay like a cohesive group and still set healthy boundaries. Because when people hear that we're inclusive, some people take that as like, oh, I can just be an asshole and they'll still accept me, right? But like, we've been faced with some weird shit. We've had one person trying to join the group and the classes that turns out, was okay with murdering somebody. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's being able to pick up on those cues. Like, if this person joins, is our group safe? And that's what it comes down to. It's been the most difficult, but also the proudest, right? Because for a lot of people, setting boundaries is not easy. And especially when we're a new group.
Yeah.
And with that being said, like, we haven't given up. There's been times that it's literally been the three of us at a class.
I know.
And it's easy for us to be like, oh, fucking no one's interested. But
yeah,
people show up when they can.
And I like when you first start off, there's always that honeymoon phase, and then there's a slump. But to me, it's so important just to keep going. Because even if it is like just the three of us or whatever, I'm down for it. I get to spend time with you guys. I get to get out of the house. I'm at Mystical Celtic. I get to talk to people there, like a lot.
We're still practicing our spiritual beliefs,
yeah,
even in having conversation. So, and then this is like a segue into the next question, right? So what's the particular moment when each of you realized, oh, this is becoming a real community rather than just people getting together once a month? Like John said, community is more than just seeing each other every 6 weeks.
Yeah. I could answer that right off the bat. And it happens like with our families when we're not doing kindred or community events or anything. It's game night. Our family spending time together, hanging out on a Sunday, watching Monarch just go on repeat, and we all fall asleep at some point. Like,
true story.
And we share meals together,
We went to a butcher shop together.
Like,
For me, like it's not like this is a moment I realize, but it illustrates what we're looking for and what I'm looking for and talking about when it comes to community. Is I'll go a little bit of our little adventure earlier a couple months ago.
Adventure for everybody else.
Barbara's had a cough, respiratory problems, and so we go. She does a video appointment. It turns into, hey, you need to go to urgent care so we can do some X-rays and like just want to rule out like, is it pneumonia? Is it not? Right? We go there. They're like, oh, you need to go and do all this tests and this. You need to go straight to the emergency room because we're thinking you're having like heart failure and all this other crap.
It was fucking bizarre, y'all.
Really bizarre. And so it is 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
We're in Folsom, and we have to go to Roseville. And our daughter is at home, worried about mom. We were able to call Mac and Dustin. Dustin got ready, picked her up, and she just hung out with them all
And it
day.
was right before, like, he was getting ready for work, too. And
Yeah.
I got to say, what's been nice, and it talks about what we've built, right, as community, is that for the first time in my life as a mom, I didn't have the, oh, fuck, who do I call? I don't have anybody. That's been my entire life raising Annabelle, right? And for the first time, I was like, oh, I got to call Mac and Dustin. Like, I knew who to call in that moment, which was great.
Yeah. Like, that is, it wasn't the aha moment, but that is a perfect illustration of what community is having people that you like. Life throws you a curveball. I need somebody to come pick up our daughter and let her just hang out with you so she's not sitting at home worried about mom.
It was even like the simplest thing, right? Like our lawn, I was getting ready to mow the lawn, bought a new lawnmower, still in the box. We're waiting for the yard Nazis to come around and ticket us. And I put a post out, and it was the sweetest thing. Like Christina, she was like, I don't know how to do it, but I'm willing to come over and try to put that mower together. You know what I mean? She doesn't live near us. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. But that woman was like ready to jump and help.
Yeah.
I love Christina. I miss her. We get to run into her again soon. She was
come back to our classes.
Christina, we miss you. I know.
But yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and and I like that's a special bond that we share, and we should be expanding that. Other people should be coming in, but that comes with.
And it talks about community too, right? Like just because Yggbladir Kindred is our community, when we say build community, it doesn't mean that it's just this small circle and no one else is allowed in, right? This is also referring to, for the same situation, Heather, she's part of the Sacramento Moon and Circle group. She was one of the original creators of it. She wasn't able to come help, but she put up a Facebook post and said, hey, the helpers need help. Like, who can come help? And it was a really beautiful moment because here's two separate groups and they're trying to help each other,
Yeah.
So, and it was that reciprocal relationship. We unconditionally helped their group a couple times with camping groups, camping events. So,
I mean, it's been good. Our experience with, my personal experience since the Kindred and networking with like Mystical Celtic and other people that we've met, Chris Prentice, the Circle of Oak and Tide, we've had such good experiences and relationships that we're hopefully building in reciprocity, and that means a lot. I never have experienced that.
No,
never. So I think that creating this made something special and welcoming, and now we're like in our community is out there. We're here for you, so jump on in.
So, and with saying that, right, like this is a lot of like in-house using quotation marks. So what is something about building and maintaining a community like this that people from the outside might not see? Right? They see us, they hear us, but they don't see like the inner networking. So what does that look like for them? If you could paint a picture.
you want to answer that one?
I'll let you guys say.
I was gonna say
First.
to me, it is just the consistency. You know,
Yeah.
like it what we do when no one is looking, like how our families interact,
Mm-hmm.
is what you see is what you get. This is the same behind the scenes as it is in front of when we're at Mystical Celtic or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, there's that authenticity to it, and you can't replace that. So when it comes to community, it should really be that same feeling, like just that consistency of authenticity that is there. So that, to me, that's like kind of the picture I see.
Yeah, it's the consistency of putting the effort in and keeping those lines of communication open with each other and with group members, of seeing like when there's a storm, how much do we need, like checking on people after like a big storm. Is like, I'll go and, hey, there was a big storm, you guys got any down trees, need help? What are your needs that we can help you with now?
Yeah.
And having that back returned.
Well, it's like, so of course, by now, everyone knows my back is just totally fucked up, right? So, like, I don't get out of the house very often because car rides are difficult. Gas is just, crazy expensive. And you guys have a truck with this couch seat in
It's
it.
a magical seat.
That,
magical
this heater. Seat. And it is, like, when it comes to riding in vehicles, this is one of the most tolerable, but most comfortable seats I've ever had. Even outside of a vehicle, it's just a really comfortable seat. And you guys go out of your way to, come get me, pick me up, take me on a ride, pick me up, drop me off, the whole bit, and that's like a small thing. But I know, like, it's like, it's not worth it. We're next door neighbors. Gas is crazy expensive right now, this little bit. But it matters to me because you guys know, like, he's hurt. This is the best way to handle this situation. And you guys are like looking out for my needs, in the same respect. So it's like, it is that reciprocity that we both have with each other.
And I think it extends to what people don't see, right?
Mm-hmm.
They hear us talking about how close-knit our two immediate families are.
Mm-hmm.
But everything that we do it with a perspective of trying to branch further, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a simple things. Like John's brother just had to have a fucking toe amputated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's in financial need of help. You guys are sharing his GoFundMe, and that means more than what you can even imagine, right?
Yeah.
It's, if Dustin's sister or dad needed something, like, we would jump and say, let's go. Like, we will cancel all plans and help you guys.
Chuck, what do you need?
Yeah.
It's us branching out and talking to Jessica and Richard over at Mystical Celtic. Hey, they let us use their space to help get things out to the community. So what can we do to help you guys during Krampus? That's a stressful time for them. That's a big event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what can we do to help make this easier for you?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of like behind the doors of what people don't see.
Mm-hmm.
So as we talk about these things, and we do talk about Yggbladir Kindred a lot, how has Meets in Midgard fit into that growth over the last year? And has having the podcast changed the kinds of conversations that we're having beyond the monthly meets? And how has it Meets in Midgard changed for you? Because you were running this podcast for 2 years?
For 2 years prior, but by myself, and it was strictly Norse Heathen. And it was a lot of fun. It was great to like the subject matter and stuff, but it was pretty consistently Norse Heathen. And then as my thoughts were being challenged by new pagan ideas, I wanted to kind of expand Meets in Midgard with that as well. So it was actually when I had John on and the paranormal, we
messed it all up.
We established that.
Yeah. And, the paranormal, we talked about paranormal stuff tied into Norse heathenry. And
Well, because like the original, you wanted to talk about
Yeah,
Bigfoot, Sasquatch,
cryptids.
cryptids in the Icelandic signs
Mm-hmm.
and the Vinland signs.
The
And I was like,
Vinland
okay. And then it just went down a rabbit hole because you get me talking about paranormal and just like I'm just gonna let the stream lead the way. We're gonna go down some
and
rapids.
that was awesome. But prior to that, it was like, oh, hey, we both are interested in the paranormal. Like that's something our families share. You guys had a lot more like professional experience with it, which is cool because now Dustin and I can tag along and our son Rocco as well,
Mhm.
and to be like, oh, hey, so, and I know John, you had been wanting to do your own kind of paranormal group, and Barbara as well, naturally, because you guys like love everything, the same things.
Yes.
Not necessarily. I love tomatoes. He loves cottage cheese.
There are things that we don't
This interview is over.
share a mutual love
Yeah.
in, but
Yeah.
majority of things.
Yeah, majority of interest
Yeah.
you guys do share. And so it was like, oh, wow. Well, now Dustin and I can, to kind of tag along this. And you were talking about getting a paranormal group together. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's blah, blah, blah. And so naturally,
And you thought it was just talk. And then we brought the case in and you're like, oh, wait.
And we stirred some shit up, y'all.
Oh my
You'll hear about it when we
gosh.
do the first Night Watch Paranormal. But
my house is haunted
we have
for sure.
a not so friendly person.
Yeah.
So as we're talking about the curiosity of like heathenry and the stories and the spirits that you guys talked about during that podcast, right? And we formulated the Night Watch Paranormal. We're getting ready to get it off
Mm-hmm.
foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why create the separate paranormal project rather than just simply making a paranormal investigation another Yggbladir activity?
Mm.
Why are we doing that?
Yeah. I think that paranormal has a lot of like heathen pagan roots. Naturally, I think the two worlds are interwoven personally, but not everybody shares that, those ideals or thoughts. And it is so much of a separate subject that it can be its own entity. I like Yggbladir, I think, is heathen, pagan, spiritual focused. And I think Night Watch is a special interest. And, and while, yes, we can make ties and associations into our faiths about it, it really is a separate thing to me.
Heathenry, paganism, it's a spiritual practice.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the Abrahamic Islam, Judaism, Christianity. Those are spiritual practices. Those are, to me, it's kind of like the lens that we will view the paranormal with, because it's how our spiritual beliefs are trying to make sense of things and understand things that are not easily understandable. I feel like the separation is because doing a paranormal investigation that has heavy overtones of one's spiritual practice can alienate. And, because not every house we go into or location is going to be, heathen friendly, pagan friendly. A lot of them are, Christianity is one of the larger, religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs in America. And so it's like kind of having that separation. Plus it also, instead of looking at the evidence through that religious spiritual lens, you're looking at it as the evidence presents itself. Mm-hmm. And that way you're not hyping it up as like it's a troll or it's a demon, it's like, oh, that voice was scruffy, it sounds like it's a demon, or because I've seeing groups do that where everything is looked at through their spiritual belief, and then it kind of, you're going into somebody's house, and just because you're looking at this scruffy voice as, oh, it's a demon, then you tell the homeowner, yo, you got a demon in your house, bye, I'm going home,
Yeah.
have fun with your demon, then that person's going to be scared.
Yeah.
So, and I guess the way to look at it is that when we're talking about Yggbladir Kindred, Meets in Midgard, Night Watch Paranormal, they really all are connected by curiosity, education, and exploration. But truly, each one deserves to like be separated, right?
Yeah.
Because Yggbladir is more about community, practice, and education. Meets in Midgard is more about having conversations, ideas, interviewing not just each other, but interviewing people from other practices or a thought process, right?
Yeah.
And the Night Watch Paranormal is about the
Yeah.
investigations, documentation, and research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what does paranormal research mean to you guys?
I'm gonna let John take the lead on this one. He's the pro.
Paranormal research to me is, I've had a lot of weird, odd phenomenon experiences throughout my whole life. And I've always tried to find like a logical explanation for it. There's a lot of things I can't. I haven't found that. In doing research, I realized that some of these things are, I'm not the only one having it. And so for me, doing the research is expanding my understanding of the different phenomenons and my curiosity about them, and also helping educate and helping people, like when there's something that they don't understand, because like our, if it's something that we don't understand, our instinct is either to fear it or to worship it. 9 times out of 10 you're just going to be afraid of it. It's helping people understand that just because you don't understand it does not mean that it is something scary and something that you need to be afraid of. And so it kind of helps empower people and realize that maybe it's not the footstep you hear in your house. Maybe it's not some, ghost of an axe murderer. Maybe it's just like the little old lady who lived here and loved the house. Now she's just kind of keeping an eye on things.
Why don't we have any ghosts from like the 1980s?
There are ghosts from the 1980s
haunting me out. Totally. I'm totally haunting you.
There are ghosts from the 70s, 80s. There's actually, I think, a Toys R Us in Sunnydale. Oh, it used to be Toys R Us because it no longer is Toys R Us. It's haunted. There's a lot of places haunted.
That's the thing too. Like because I don't know a lot, but part of me is like I would want to know like the entire history of a location or something prior to doing it, and then a part of me would want to like not know anything and just go in and see what I feel.
Well, and that's kind of like one of my approaches is I like to go to a location not knowing anything. Just like, oh yeah, somebody says this may or may not be haunted. Cool, go there. Have your experience, do your investigation, and then look at what evidence you find, you're able to capture and document, and then do some research to see if there's anything that collaborates that. But yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts. What about yours?
Yeah. Because I don't have the experience that you guys have, so it's like I rely heavily on your professional ideas and thoughts. But
You're the professional. Shit. I do all the typing and shit.
I do feel that at times, like when our family here has a ghost night, I will bring out heathen tools to help, put me in more of a in between the realms type of state of mind so that I'm more open to seeing things. So like for me, that kind of ties in to what I'm doing, but I don't know, like I didn't know that there were salts and sprays and stuff that you can use to protect yourself. And so who knows what I was letting come into the house. So anyway,
I
so
have
those are
that
like
creepy dude in your fucking workspace.
I know. Yeah. We have an Enderman in our but yeah, so that's what it is for me. Just like, I'm not I don't know everything, so I'm learning.
So you're bringing spiritual stuff into your paranormal research, but how do you separate the personal spiritual belief from the actual paranormal investigation? Like, can you believe in spirits and still stay skeptical about a particular piece of evidence? And if so, like, how the hell do you do that?
I say absolutely, and you have to be objective. You have to find the logical explanation as much as possible, because not everything is a message from God.
I'm going to tell you a story about investigation, and this is where being like knowing your environment and just understanding how the world works is important. I was at an investigation at a hotel that was built around the gold rush time. It has a long history of paranormal experiences. I've had paranormal experiences in this hotel, but I was with some people who they were doing the EVP session, and they're in this upper room. There was an individual who's sitting next to a window. It is 11 o'clock at night, October, in the foothills. It is like 40 degrees outside, and it's windy, and these are single pane original windows. Painting that picture. This person is like, the ghost is sitting next to me because they're sitting on the windowsill. Because I feel cold. I feel the breeze. And I'm like,
change your
could
location.
it be that you're sitting next to a single pane window that is an original window? It doesn't have weather guarding or anything like that. It's windy outside and it's 40 degrees. Could it possibly be that it's just the window? Nope. It's a ghost. Obviously, it's a ghost because they're doing an EVP session. This hotel's haunted, and so everything is a ghost.
Everything, yeah.
And so having that, you got to have objective. You have to, like, when something's going on, try finding a logical, normal explanation for it before you jump into it as a paranormal thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these old buildings that people go investigate, there wasn't really the building code back in the day was like, cool, it hasn't fallen down yet, so it's a good building. And it's like there were stairs on the same hotel that people would walk down and like, oh, I feel like I'm being pushed.
Yeah.
Because every step had a slight lean forward. So when you walk down it, you're walking and I experienced that, and I'm like, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
It's because the step is leaning forward, the entire staircase, and they're not evenly spaced. Like, oh, it's because there's a portal there. I'm like, no, it's because it's really old carpentry. No, it's a portal. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a portal. Whatever.
It's like when people like will ask like, oh my God, I saw a raven. What does it mean? I'm like,
There's a bird.
It means a raven.
Snack.
If it truly meant something, you would know and you wouldn't be asking.
Right.
But if you have to go and ask, then it's just a bird.
Right. Like the time I was talking to my boss and all of a sudden a raven randomly smacked into the window.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's bad juju. So, and you kind of already like segued us into one of my next questions, John.
Yeah.
So it's talking about like what standards do we put into place when evaluating evidence, right? And like I know there's debunking and stuff like that.
I think there's a lot of things that go into it, and I'm along for the ride on this one. But I think, being objective when going back and reviewing the evidence as well, because you could truly in that moment feel like something is unexplained. And you go back and you're listening to just the audio maybe, and you're not even watching the video, and you can hear like a door open that might explain a breeze that would have knocked something, or whatever. So it's like you can have these genuine true experiences but still be open to refining that.
I was at a location,
Mm.
and this is where when you have an experience, see if you can replicate.
Mm.
It was in a restaurant, and it was an upper area that they do like live music, right? And so there was this railing that had like a little shelf that you can use kind of like a little bar, right next to the stairs. And the person I was investigating with kind of like leaned on it, and then we walked away. And then about a minute later, there was a hard boom sound from that, like somebody kicked it.
Oh wow.
And we're like, what the heck? Because we're kind of startled us, what the heck? And so we're trying to, like, is there something going on? And so it took us a minute to replicate it. What happened is when you leaned on it, it kind of pushed it down, and the wood would kind of like, the friction would hold it in place, but then
It would pop.
it would pop.
Ah.
And so when I experience something, first thing I'm trying to do is see if I can replicate it.
Mhm.
See if, like, is it a loose floorboard? Is it this? Did somebody say something? That's why when I'm like listening for going over audio evidence and I think I hear something,
Mhm.
I'm not going to say, hey, does it sound like a little girl saying, come help me?
Yeah.
Because psychologically, you've planted that suggestion in their head. So they're
Mhm.
going to be listening for a little girl voice saying, come help me in this window of time.
Mhm.
And then whatever's there, I've already made that suggestion and influenced what they're looking for.
Right.
And so, like, when you're looking over evidence, just say, hey, look over this and see what you see or hear what you hear. And then if you hear something and everyone hears something, then you all write down, what do you think it says?
Mm.
And then you guys then you present it. So be skeptic, be open-minded skeptic,
Mhm.
because that's how I've always tried approaching it, because I try not to do like the debunking, because debunking is like, I'm going to find some explanation for this regardless of how incredible the evidence is. I'm going to like, it's swamp gas, it wasn't a UFO, that kind of thing. And so I always try doing the open-minded skepticism, and that's kind of like the approach that I'm trying to do with this group. And yes, I have my spiritual beliefs, but I don't think that my spiritual beliefs are the end-all explanation for all things paranormal. It's the lens that I'm looking at things through, trying to make sense to me.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. It's like my science, how this universe works for me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I answer the question, or did I just go on a ramble?
Yes.
That was really
Yes.
educational though, because a lot goes
Yes.
into that approaching, paranormal activity and stuff. Like, there's a lot of preparation stuff that goes ahead of time, and
Mhm.
and there's a certain it's like mindset going into it that you have to have,
Well, and another part of it is like, because you see all of these pieces of equipment that they use. A lot of these equipment have been designed for a scientific purpose, and then we are using them for trying to adapt this piece of equipment for detecting something in paranormal. And so it's very important to understand, it's my opinion, is to understand what the equipment is originally designed for, and then how we are trying to apply that into the paranormal, into paranormal research.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Do you have any thoughts?
I know, Barbara. Like, how about
well,
you?
You know my nerdiness. It's not easy. I actually like bullet pointed notes about this one. So, because I viewed the question of like standards like a set of rules, right? So like the first one is thinking of it as labeling things, right? So personal experience. Personal experience is valuable, but it's not factual, and we have no way to actually prove it, right? So when we're going through evidence, mark off whether it's a personal experience. Unless someone else can collaborate and say, "Oh yeah, that happened to me too," then it's not evidence, but we have to take it at face value. Right.
The personal
did you
gnosis,
guys have a shared experience? Like the weird thing crossing the road the other
Right. That was weird.
Well,
shit.
there was also that episode of Glee where Santana and Britney shared the same Britney hallucination with a
Right.
Britney Madonna song. Yeah.
And you guys went over the second one was like trying to debunk everything. Collaboration increases. So like if a strange sound is heard by one person, it's interesting. But if it's heard by two people and captured independently on audio, then it makes it even more interesting, right? So if you have two, so often when we're doing investigations, we have the recorder going, he's got the portal, we've set up the Boo Bear, down the hall. I'm using my phone to track time. So if the temperature's dropping, I'm tracking the time and the date of everything. And then if I think I hear something, I write down the time so I can collaborate it with his recordings. So if we're able to match those things together, it makes it more proof. I don't know the wording I'm trying to find.
It builds, the evidence builds on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then like when we're looking at standards for the evidence, right, we want to keep and protect the original recordings. So what I've been doing is that I have a folder where it's just the original recordings. And then I have another folder where I'm copying that. So that way, if I need to slow down the audio or whatever, I'm not tampering the original evidence. Right. Contaminating the EVP sessions is so so like when you see John's face. So like when we're doing investigations, whenever it's cold, I don't know what it is, my fucking knees crack so loud, and I'm like, that was Barbara. Those are my knees breaking.
Yeah.
Right. Or if John coughs, he's like, that was John coughing. Because if we don't announce what caused that fucking noise, then if you're going over the evidence, Mac, then you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I heard a ghost knee crack."
Yeah, and then you go,
you growl,
and then you send this out to the group, and everyone listens, and then it's like, "Oh no, that was this," and it's like it could have been saved, without having that,
Well, that and like when,
or you might not remember
when you're doing like a question answer type EVP session, having side conversations go on while you're trying to listen. You're trying to give us a sign of your presence, and you wait like 30 seconds, and then you ask your next question. If there's like a side conversation going on here, you have no idea if you got anything or not.
Yeah. Right. And then with that, right, a big rule is don't fucking whisper.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're whispering, that audio might only pick up a few of the words.
And it's
so even if you're like, this is Mac, and right, it's going to hear, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're looking over the evidence, we don't know.
EVP, I asked, like, can you give us a sign of your presence? And it's talking about how it has really bad fucking diarrhea. I'm not sure. I guess that's a sign of his presence, but like, don't eat iceberg lettuce.
Must have died recently. Must have recently.
Maybe
died.
this is a recent crossing over spirit.
Right.
I don't.
So, and then like another one was that I made note of is like, don't lead the evidence, like what John was talking about. Don't be like, oh my God, did you hear Get Out?
Yeah.
You know, equipment readings need context. So, and that's what I use my phone for, is that an EMF spike or temperature change or monitor alert, it demonstrates that our tools detected something, but it doesn't tell us that a ghost was detected. Right. It just says that your music box was activated. And so that's when we have to look for, like, we have a music box that plays creepy music when you walk within, I think, like 2 feet of the beam or whatever. Yeah. And so we'll hear it go off and we're like, okay, if that's you, can you make it stop? If it stops on command, we're like, okay, cool. There's been times where it doesn't stop. So what do? We go over there, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, see if it's the items glitching or whatever, and then you know, we'll use a flashlight to shine. Are we seeing mosquitoes flying around? Are there gnats?
And like also because you want there's like, oh yeah, we got a cold spot. Okay, cool, you got a cold spot. Is there anything else going on at this time, or is it just, hey, it's a cold spot? Because getting like an EMF spike or a dip, it's like that's just energy. But if you have like a cold spot and an EMF spike, and at the same time you're getting an EVP, that's things adding onto each other to give more.
You're building that case,
and that's what it's about.
Yeah,
it's about documentation, right? And then when we're talking about the documentation, it was, again, labeling the evidence, right? So we have explained that it's a category. You make a folder, explained. We figured out what caused it. We don't need to look at it again, right? And then there's inconclusive. We don't know what the fuck caused it. We don't have any proof that it's paranormal, but we also don't have proof that it's not paranormal. Right. So then the next time you go to that location, maybe you come up with different ways to test those theories. And then there's the collaborated. And then there's, paranormal question mark. Like, this is where we reserve for the strongest cases. Like, we were doing an investigation. John and I were leading a group. And we're standing about half a foot to a foot away from each other. And it's in the dark. And I was like, why'd you just pull on me? He's like, what? He felt something differently at the same time as I felt something differently.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, okay, can you show us a sign of your presence? He said, don't touch me or Barbara, right?
Because we're like leading this tour, and it's like, oh yeah, there's a ghost that touched me. It's
and
like,
it looks suspicious.
And so, or like, hey, can you give us a sign of your presence, but not like touching my hand or Barbara's hand, because it felt like there was somebody standing in between us holding our hands.
Oh,
well, it was pulling on my pocket. It was like a little kid or something.
Yeah, I felt it was like kind of holding these two fingers.
And this poor teenager, I swear, this kid shit himself a few minutes later.
It was like a few seconds later. Because we're like, can you give us a sign? I'm like, without touching Barbara or myself. Maybe one of these participants who paid to go on this tour. Can you give us a sign of your presence? And it was the spirit box that cycles through. He had it off in his sweater pocket. His hands were in his pants pocket. That turned on.
Oh my gosh.
And you hear the kid go, what the fuck? And the mom is like, why'd you turn it on?
I didn't do it. And the thing is to turn that on, it's not just as simple you push the button and it's on. It's like you have to hold the button down for 3 seconds and then it turns on.
And what was great is that this is recorded.
Yeah.
We're also seeing and experiencing this in person. And the mom and the kid are legit freaking out. Like, we exited the building and the kid is messing with his spirit box, trying to debunk it.
Oh, wow.
He's like, maybe my sweater was pushing on it, but that's not enough pressure. And so it was kind of cool watching this 15-year-old
try
follow these standards.
Yeah.
Right.
Instinctively, probably.
So, what have you guys learned from building Yggbladir, and healthy? So, building Yggbladir, the education, the research, community, different viewpoints. We've had a lot of that. Healthy disagreements that will help shape the way that Night Watch Paranormal approaches investigations once we start going out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. It's like being open minded, you know, and having like a genuine interest in it as well, because it's you see people get involved for whatever reason that they may want or something, and then like ditch out and stuff, and that makes for a bad experience for a lot of people. And like this is something I know that we all generally share an interest in, we're passionate about. And the nice thing is like there are other people in the kindred that I have shared interests with as well, like with Chris. And so like you have these to your hands, and your life just expands into these different places that it never would have before. And so like for me, being able to expand it to Night Watch is such an amazing thing for me, because it's something I've always wanted to do but never had anyone to like with the knowledge and the resources to go and do that. So it's I've learned a lot from our experiences in Yggbladir to be able to move that experience into Night Watch.
And I think one of the things to keep in mind as Night Watch is starting to take off, one lesson learned from Yggbladir is that we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Right.
Right?
I never know what I'm
John
doing.
and I have gone on investigations. John's been doing investigations forever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, there's a lot of administrative crap that has to happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scheduling and planning and reaching out to historic locations.
Paperwork and record keeping, getting
Yeah.
permissions, getting legal
Emails,
releases,
phone calls,
Right. So,
waivers.
I think it's coming up with a plan of action on how we're going to balance that for 3 groups.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Right. Which is why it's taken so long to
Yeah.
get it to this point.
It's a lot of work, and it's making sure that it doesn't become so much work to the point where it's like,
It's
Mhm.
not a
I ain't
hobby.
getting a paycheck doing this shit. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want it to be like a labor that
Yeah.
becomes something you
It's a
hate, you
labor of
dread
love.
doing. You want it to really, and it's like, and then we find things that don't work. Like
Yeah.
book club didn't work.
Sadly.
I thought it was a great idea. I loved it, but it just didn't work out. So we
And the
dropped
community
it.
cleanup's got to be a bit rough, right? Like we know
Yeah.
that during the really cold months and it's raining and the really hot months, it's not something that's feasible, right?
Mhm.
But it's
So
something
that's
that we can
seasonal.
do
Yeah,
during the fall and the spring,
yeah,
and that's okay. It'll be the same thing like how we reach out for other people to teach classes. Like there's been a
Yeah.
lot of learning curves.
yeah. There has. And the one thing I'm glad we've done is shown up every single time, regardless. Every single time we show up, and sometimes it's there's 20 people, and sometimes it's just us. But it's like that comes with it, and I'm sure it's hot right now. People are not wanting to leave their homes and stuff. Whatever. And then the winter time, it's cold, and so you get these fluctuations, but we show up every single time,
And
that's so important.
I think one of our biggest takeaways from building Yggbladir that we should keep in mind as we go into bringing Night Watch more front-faced is that it's like a certain festival that we went to that tanked. Not every event, not every investigation will go the way that we hope. We're not going to find things on every investigation.
Mhm.
There's going to be moments where we feel like an investigation wasted our time, but it's keeping an open mind and looking at the finer details, because every situation has a learning experience.
Exactly.
Do we need to redo how our equipment is? Do we
Yeah.
need to change the approach on how we do investigations? What investigations can we do that include the kids?
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, I've been on a couple investigations.
Just a few.
I've been
Just a
doing
few.
this for for a couple years. I've been on investigations where I genuinely do not feel that there was any paranormal stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But even in those investigations, I learned things. I learned how better to troubleshoot. Like, they're saying this phenomenon is going on, how to look at like logical explanations.
Mhm.
Like, I was at an investigation. She was convinced she had ghosts. She was hearing voices in the hallway. She was like, there was like things were moving in the walls, and it turned out it was rats and bad weather.
I mean, so she wasn't wrong. She had things in the walls.
They were not paranormal. The voices that she was hearing, because she lived on a cul-de-sac.
Mm.
And at the end of it, and how the acoustics were, is if you're in the hallway, you can hear the conversation that the neighbors across the street are having as they walk to and from their car.
So
that is so
what they
wild.
learned is don't do the deed in the hallway.
Yes.
That's not the place to do it. Everyone will hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every
And
answer.
it's even simpler things than that, right? Like every investigation we've gone on, we're like, "Oh, you know what? It took so much time to get this gear out. Like, let's set up the gear a certain way, right? Like
Yeah.
you've seen our crazy
Oh, there.
toolbox
yeah.
on wheels that we use.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of gear,
That's a lot of gear.
and depending on
It's a lot.
the location, the size of the location, we're only gonna, it's like I have
Yeah.
like my 2 or 3 like
Go-tos.
go-to pieces
Yeah.
of the equipment.
Yeah, like I love the portal.
Mhm.
I hate trying to run it. So I'm like, here, this is your thing.
Set up the
Right.
portal.
He
and
hates
then I have
using my giant orange thing
Yeah.
that like tracks barometric pressure, temperature, like
Oh my
everything.
god.
You
I'm
can put it on a table, fix some vibrations
Yeah.
too.
I'm
Yeah.
excited because I want to definitely jump in on like doing the audio,
Yeah.
because I do my music and my recording and stuff, so
Mhm.
I know how to feel out the hisses and
Oh,
And I
da-da-da
can't
and
wait
do all
for
that stuff.
Rocco
so-
to help with the video stuff.
I wanna
Rocco with the
get more
editing.
into,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the video.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have that body cam we had
Mhm.
and what's out yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Paranormal cops investigation, body cam.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
I always, it's like there's so much
What am I in?
when I'm on an investigation, I have my head on a swivel because there's so much stuff that like there could be something going on over here. And I'm just not looking that way, catching it. And so I'm like always like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But now getting like a body cam and then have a hand camera that can,
Yeah.
Well, and that's
wait.
the thing is like if you hear a noise over here, there could be actual paranormal activity happening here.
Yeah.
Or you're paying attention to paranormal activity and your wife biffs it down a little step, like put that on funniest videos.
Is
We
it-
could
yeah.
be rich.
Which I have a question though, like, so for basically using a marker to line up timelines and stuff, do you guys use the audio to say, okay, you were talking here at this time and it lines up there with this video, so this is the same timeline? Or
So that's what I do on my phone is
Mhm.
so if we hear a noise, he'll say it in the video or the voice
Yeah,
recorder.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll pay attention to my orange meter. Like, did the temperature drop when that was happening?
Mhm.
Was there a vibration? And so I'll put in my notes on my phone. I've already pre-titled it because it's me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, 9:15 a.m. John has a recording on the audio.
Mhm.
I have recordings on SD card that
Yeah.
this thing occurred. Right.
And when you're doing the recording, it shows you like, okay, here's
Timestamp.
here's a 30-minute recording,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so it doesn't necessarily give you a timestamp of like what time of day it was recording, but
How
when you
far
start
into it.
how far into it, when you
Minutes.
start your audio
Mhm.
recording,
Mhm.
like doing an EVP session is on like this is the date, this is the time
Yeah.
Mhm.
that I'm starting recording.
Right.
And then from that point on, if you make a note like, hey man, at this time we were doing we're doing an EVP session and we heard this thing or this thing happened, then we can look at like the audio recording, track that to about the same time and like did we pick up
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool. Yeah.
as we end our first year,
Mm.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yggbladir is entering into its second year. What directions do you guys want to see or how you want to see the community grow. What do you envision?
I seriously envision more people in the community taking a more active role in like the classes, like teaching the classes.
Yeah, because let's talk about Lance's class.
That was
Holy shit,
amazing.
that folk magic class
Oh
was
my
amazing.
God, it was so good. I can't
Yeah.
wait to get him on the podcast
Yeah.
as well to do that. I learned so much, but yeah. So, I really want to see, because right now we're fulfilling a need that is there, that is to lead this and stuff. And I'm excited to see other people in the community be more involved and take up these parts and teach classes. Lance, thank you. That was just an amazing class that you taught,
I think for me, one of the things that I would like to see in the next year is that between our two homes, we do gardening, a lot of it. Not just like our immediate community of family, but the outside community. There's a lot of help, whether it's legitimate help that they need or like the random dude that approached us in front of your house and was like, I need $40, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, here's $40 from Kindred. He's like, I'll pay you back. We've never seen it. Turns out Mac doesn't know who the fuck it is. But for John and I, like, we help somebody, whether he truly needed help or it's his truth that he needed it for something. Like, it is what it is, right? But like between the gardens, like, I would love to see us come up with some place that we can take our extra produce and some clothes items and pitch up a fucking canopy. Let's sit somewhere. Like, let's be a random traveling outlet where people can come get things that they might need.
Yeah, maybe we could get a spot at a farmer's market and say, we'll be like, this is what we're selling, but this is what we're giving away, know?
And I mean, like, Rancho Cordova. Let's find a spot that's near West La Loma where you have a lot of like Section 8 housing. There's families, refugee families that are coming over who are getting their food stamps cut off that have, 6 to 8 kids in that tiny ass apartment. They need clothes. They need food. They don't have a car. How are they going to make it, all the way to Watt Avenue to a flea market, which is great. I agree.
Yeah.
But I would love to personally see Yggbladir just get more of that basic human needs out to people, whether they're part of our kindred or not.
Oh yeah. This is something Rocco has done, not consistently every year, but he will have us bake cookies. One year it was cookies and water, and we just loaded them up in plastic bags and went and sought out homeless people and handed them out. One year it was sandwiches. And that was Rocco's idea. Like, he wanted to do that. I would like to see us as a kindred do the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do the same thing. We see a spot in a community need. Let's just set stuff up and be like, here you go.
One year I did bought the stuff to make hygiene bags.
Yeah.
And handed those out to the homeless.
Yeah,
and that's the thing too, is like partnering with Dandelion Seeds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're a group that goes out to Pagan Pride every year. That's why Pagan Pride's free entrance. Dandelion Seeds says, hey, we have this need for the community, canned goods. It gets you a free entrance. Right? So our kindred volunteering with Dandelion Seeds, making food to pass out to people who are homeless. Because the hygiene thing is what reminded me, because that's one of their biggest projects right now, is trying to get the funds to make these hygiene self-care bags.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people doing great things. They just need an army to support it. So I think it would be great if Yggbladir got into that more. Like the community cleanup didn't work out the way we had pictured. Book club didn't, but maybe this is something that we can do instead.
Oh yeah.
It's something we can also do is, like, as a group, we can just go volunteer at organizations that are already there. Like, there's Loaves and Fishes.
Yeah, to serve.
Volunteer there to serve, help, make meals. In that way, networking with other organizations that are of different faiths, but that shows community, because you don't have to be a heathen, pagan, Christian to be helped by your fellow people in your community.
Yeah. So, and then when we talk about Night Watch Paranormal, right, and we're getting started, what would you guys eventually love to see it become? Like investigations, historical research, interview based field experiments? What do you picture?
Yes.
I know. I was saying all of the above.
Is there something that we haven't thought of yet, or that you're like, oh, that might be a stupid idea, but you haven't pitched it to the rest of our group?
I'm full of stupid ideas.
Why do you think I was looking at you?
we had so I think we talked about it briefly, and it's something I really want to do with you guys is doing reaction videos to other people's
Mac
stuff.
has had the pleasure of watching paranormal shit with John and I, and we're like, that's not fucking possible.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
That's one thing when you're talking about like evidence that we can't find an explanation for, but kind of we like, oh, this is weird. That reminded me of like there's like the classic Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot footage that has been analyzed and reanalyzed as technology from like that came out in 1967, and it's like every 10 years like, oh, we're going to look at each film with magnifying glasses, and then it's like we're going to digitally enhance things, and now we're going to have AI digitally enhance stuff. Each time as they're like, we're trying to find the zipper on the guy in the suit, is each time they do that, they actually build more evidence that it's not, that it's an actual creature.
Yeah.
They find more details. And with the AI enhancement I was looking at this article, and it was a paranormal researcher who was using the AI to kind of like how they'll do the digitally enhance old photos. Like, here, look, it's my picture of my grandparents, and it's kind of blurry, and I'm going to have AI clean it up and sharpen it, and it gets more details. And they've done that with some of like the classic ghost photos from like 1910 and stuff like that. Like it's like the brown lady ghost where it's coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
And when they do that, it's like it actually brings out like there's details that like that looks even more creepy.
See, and like because I've used AI quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know my Sage, I love her. That's her name, you guys. I would want to know how they're having AI adjust those. Like, what are your prompts?
What are the parameters of
the Sage gets a fucking wild hair up her computer ass and comes up with the most bogus shit if I'm not clear in my directions. So it's like, people's hands are missing out of their photos.
Yeah.
So, or somebody has an extra head.
Yeah.
Because I think it's using the AI, how it's like the AI enhancement for like just sharpening, pulling out the details that are grainy and like clearing them. But it's like, because as you get evidence, like, you may not be able to clean it up or see the best quality now, but as technology advances, sometimes you can just re-look at that, reanalyze that. And it could be built more on, or it could be like, oh, wait, no, that was just a cat, because here you can see its tail and whiskers.
So, second to last question, because we are starting to run out of time. Obviously, Yggbladir and Meets in Midgard, we're not disappearing. Whether people join or not, like, we're not going anywhere.
It's going on.
So in 5 years from now, what do you see success look like for Yggbladir, and what does it look like for Night Watch Paranormal?
I see, Yggbladir hopefully having its own physical space.
That would be cool.
And
not that we don't like mystical Celtic.
Right. Yeah.
It's been great.
It's been amazing, but I think I'd like to see the community grow enough to where Yggbladir has its own physical space. And a Night Watch, I would love to be able to get to the point to where we are traveling across country or internationally
have ghost school travel.
to literally go and
Yeah.
go to these places all around the world and investigate, you know.
Like for me, Yggbladir having, I would like to see our community build more.
Mhm.
As we do classes, as we go to the festivals, as we meet more people, building like a network of families that are kindred, having space, like you were saying, where we can start doing like the more like doing the seasonal rituals and
Mhm.
celebrations.
Yeah, community
Um,
garden.
yeah.
Right.
You know.
Doing fire pit night, drum circle.
Yeah.
things like that.
And not just that, like we have some people out in Natomas, we have people out in Elk Grove, we have people in South Sac, Citrus
Mhm.
Heights, Rancho, to find somewhere that's more of a centralized location, but not necessarily for us, but also for the community.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like, can people just off the street say, hey, we heard you guys have a clothes closet. I'm having an interview. Can I borrow
Mhm.
clothes? No, here you can fucking have them. Pick an
Yeah.
outfit,
Yeah.
Or fruits and vegetables
Right.
from our garden.
Put
you
a
know,
basket
like
out.
yeah,
We're watching you. It's like candy. Only take one. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that would be awesome.
And like from Night Watch, in 5 years, I'd like us to be able to be established where we are doing residentials, where it's like you have weird phenomena in your house, you're like, you know what's going on. We go help you figure that out.
Bring comfort and safety to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
I think it would be good for us to build rapport with like establishments where we can go back and do more research at a location over, because that's one of the things is doing the research isn't just doing like a one and done on a location, because you could find something, you cannot find something that night, but
Mhm.
going back, building your evidence of the history of a location.
Well, and not just that, it's building when we're looking at it from a pagan perspective,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And this is where like spirituality meets the paranormal investigation. When we go back to a location and we're collecting the evidence, we're also building a relationship with the house, the landvatir, the spirits that are there.
Mhm.
We're building this bond and this level of trust. We're not
Mhm.
just, it's like we used to go to this location all the time, and we're normally really good about asking permission to enter in. But like this one night, we were just so rushed with our old paranormal
We
group.
weren't the first people
We
in
weren't
the room.
the first people in there. Like it was a couple of our people on the tour. They just walked in the house, and it was like, oh shit, we need to catch up, right?
Mhm.
And it was not to be punny, but it was dead.
Mhm.
Like we had nothing. And I was like, that's really weird. Like there's always something,
Yeah.
And then as we're walking out, I'm like, oh shit, we didn't ask so and so, the former owner, if we could even go in her home. So the
Mhm.
next group that was going in there, I said, please make sure you guys ask permission to go in.
Yeah.
And their shit blew up. They had a crap ton of evidence.
Wow.
So that really makes a difference when you're doing that repetitive work
Mhm.
and you're building that reciprocal relationship with these entities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
easy to forget the small things sometimes.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's about paying respect.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Ghost lives matter.
So much preparation goes into doing one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Small details like that matter.
Yeah. So final question before we wrap up.
Mm.
We have spent a long and interesting year building a community around exploring old beliefs, traditions, branching out, learning new things.
Mhm.
Now that we're preparing to look into doing new things, we may not be able to explain. What are you personally hoping we find?
I hope I discover amazing things about myself. I try to take these experiences and learn from them and grow from them. And so for this, I hope it brings a level of understanding I didn't have before, and that it just opens my mind. That's really, I want to be more. I just want to learn more and try to understand things we cannot understand.
You want to be a sponge. You want to soak in more.
Absolutely, yeah,
Don't be a brick.
yeah, not a brick. Yeah,
I'm hoping that we find a suitcase full of $10 million in non-sequential bills.
Yeah.
It would solve a lot of our problems.
A lot of-
it would
yeah.
help us
Y-
buy our own space.
you guys would see amazing episodes
Yeah.
as we travel to Norway to do an investigation.
I
Yeah,
hope that we find others that want to be included, but not just like random people. It's people who
Mhm.
truly need to feel wanted and needed,
hmm
who need to find a safe environment.
yeah,
Because I feel like that's really where we will see growth as a
Mhm.
kindred.
Go ahead.
That's.
Mhm.
I'm hoping that we find more of our tribe,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
peeps.
our people,
Not the marshmallow ones. Those are gross.
because I feel that we are able to do a lot of amazing things, and
Mhm.
the more we build as a tribe, as a family, as a community, the more we will be able to help and do
Mhm.
more.
Because it's like raising a kid, right? It takes an army.
Mhm.
So it's the same thing as like when we talk about community, it takes a freaking army, y'all, to help
Yeah.
a community.
Mhm.
It can't just always be our two small families showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people that do show up, right?
Right,
But like you said
right.
earlier, it's about consistency.
Yeah. One message I would have to say is that when people, hopefully when they hear about how the relationship we have between our families, and if that sounds like appealing to you and that is something that you want, then that is the kindred we are trying to build.
Right.
So
Like,
show up, introduce
I don't
yourself.
care. You could be a
Yeah.
Christian witch. You can be, I don't
Yeah.
fucking know, witch.
You don't have to
You
be
know, like-
Asatru, Norse heathen, whatever. Even if you're just gardening and you think you feel something,
All you have to not be is
A
just
dick.
don't be a dick.
That's our
don't
only
be
ground
a
rule.
dick. Yeah, harm no one. And obviously we have our standards. Like the not being a dick is, I think, a simple way to say it. So, but yeah. But yeah.
Be somebody Mr. Rogers would be fucking proud of. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all. That's all we're saying.
Or Miss Rachel now. Is it Miss Rachel? I think is the one that the kids have nowadays. Yeah.
I haven't watched on
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, she's fire right now.
Talking
Is the
Rachel
kid.
Ray. We're talking
No. Although I sound like Rachel Ray right now because I'm out of water and I'm dehydrated as fuck.
Well, good thing we're at the end of our show today.
We are at the
So,
end.
I'm looking at the monitor here in front of us. I'm like,
Don't hit Sammy.
this is Sammy.
Yes, it's Rocco's purplish, pinkish friend.
And
Yes.
like, we're not muted, right? We haven't been muted the entire time.
I know.
Didn't
Hold
we
on.
do that one?
It has happened.
It has happened. Hold on. Oh yeah, no, we are not. We're good. Okay, you guys have been able to hear us.
And there was a one where like, hey, we can't hear you. And we're like muted for like the whole episode.
I had done that before on a live that I was doing by myself, and I know you had chimed in the comments like, "You're muted. I can't hear you." I'm like,
well, and good thing we have closed captioning, because even if you can't hear us and we fuck up, guess what? Closed captioning has our back.
yeah, that was a big up. Got that.
So on that note, we will see you guys. Well, you see us or hear us next month in September for our next podcast.
Yeah, that's for Meets in Midgard.
Mhm.
Join the Kindred.
Yeah. August 29th is our 1 year celebration as a Kindred. Even if you haven't been coming to our meetings, come out and celebrate us.
Mhm.
Build
Hang out.
relationship. That's kind of what we're wanting
Bring
for the
cupcakes.
next.
Yeah.
We might have cupcakes.
Yeah.
Also, real quick before we end it, if you are currently experiencing any paranormal things or have any paranormal stories you would like to share, please contact us. Let us know.
Our email
Have those
is
will travel.
nightwatchparanormal13@gmail.com. And I will put it in the comments.
So if you you've had interesting sightings or experiences, because it's not just ghosts, it's cryptids, it's UFOs, it's just weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely reach out. And
Mhm.
if you're in the Sacramento area, even better.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have an experience and some evidence and such and like video, we definitely want to see it. So yeah.
And boom, just like that, it's in the comments for Facebook and YouTube. It'll be
Oh,
there
hey.
permanently.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
See
Thank
you guys later.
I know. Thank you all so much for